Hello and welcome to a new episode of the CTO Show with Mehmet. My name is Mehmet. I share daily insights about the latest news and trends in technology while exploring their problem solving abilities. I also talk about startups and the entrepreneurs behind their innovative products and services. Let's get started for today. In this episode, I'm bringing three articles, but I would relate them to each other's because I believe it's part of one single chain. So the first article is about how nearly all firms have ties with breached third parties. Now, third parties, if you think about it, is any contractor, any vendor you deal with in your business. Now, based on the article, sometimes even if you have built kind of an information security base for your environment and for your organization, but still you are unaware about the dependencies and exposures which are related to these contractors or vendors that you deal with. In some sectors, especially in IT sector, on average you deal with 25 different entities, while in others it's like around 6 to 7. Those numbers quickly can increase and they can quickly add to the risk. Now, you might ask, what is the risk of a third party in the business? Good question. So, the thing is, if they don't have the enough security measures for their setup, it might lead to a risk to your setup. Let me give you an example. If you remember, last year we heard about Log4j. Log4j is a vulnerability in a programming language, but it's used in other environments and in other setups. So Log4j by itself, it's not an organization own vulnerability, but because the vulnerability was found, now it becomes your problem. Think about what happened with SolarWinds. So it was not something that happened inside SolarWinds, but a third party that they included on their platform that caused a huge breach to happen. Now, the article goes on and they advise that you do some security checks on the entities and the vendors that you deal with and all the contractors that you might be dealing with, because with time, having all these third parties not well audited can bring real headache. And now this brings me to the second article, and I will tell you later on why I'm relating them to each others. Now, if someone understands your business, someone understands how you deal with other vendors, buyers, customers, and so on, what they can do, they can actually impersonate your business. This is something we see a lot, especially in some sectors like travel, airlines, retail, and big brands. What they do is that they impersonate your website, your social media accounts, and they start to act in a way that looks very realistic that anyone can easily be tricked by. And this goes for having fraud. So imagine if one contractor was working with you, he was sitting maybe for months with your stuff. They start to understand how you do business, the way you communicate, your way of doing emails, the way you do events, the way you do campaigns. And then they would build a simple landing page that looks exactly as yours, right? And then they will start to attract victims to this fake web page using phishing attacks and so on. And then they will try to convince customers to pay money for something that doesn't exist. This can hurt really the reputation of the organization. And it's advisable for CISOs to implement brand impersonating detection solutions. And the issue here is that it's not something tangible, same when you do, for example, for traditional threat detection. So this is something that you cannot easily discover, but there are solutions out in the market that you can utilize to go and do search for URLs which look similar to yours, or maybe campaigns on social media that looks exactly the same as you. Now, the other thing that they can utilize this for is tricking your own employees using, again, phishing attacks, and then try to get inside your network. And they can bring your network down. They can do ransomware attacks. And this is why I'm relating to the third article of today. A school was shut down for 1 day. They told students don't come tomorrow because they were hit by a ransomware attack. This is really critical. Imagine a school in Massachusetts was forced to close for a day, and they are telling 1,700 students, don't come tomorrow. Incredible. Really. Again, if I want to repeat, make sure you have security checks. There are plenty of options what you can implement there to see you are dealing with trustworthy third parties. And third parties could be software, could be people, could be organizations. Then make sure you are able to track any abusable way of using your brand. So you need to have a brand protection solution in place. And then you need to have a resilient solution inside your organization to avoid being shut down. Very important topic. I highly advise you go and read these articles that I would share. They are like provoking articles to let us think what it can be done. Another article today is about how insurance companies, and this is the second time I'm mentioning insurance companies, because yesterday I've seen a report that shows startups related to insurance are the least existing startups. At least I'm talking about the Middle East, North Africa region. So I thought I shared this article because there are a lot of innovation that can happen there. And one use case is introducing Internet of Things, IoT. And IoT, of course, it's about trying to deploy sensors and different IoT devices to collect some data. And one use case the article talks about is that deploying IoT, for example, at homes that these insurance companies cover, so they can have better understanding and they can have better alerting mechanisms for any event, like maybe a robbery or something similar. They can do better risk assessment and prevention. They can even get better health tracking for their customers and better customer experience, because if they can understand in real time what the customers are doing, so maybe they can find ways to serve them better. Bear in mind that there are some challenges when you bring IoT to any industry, and specifically with the insurance industry, that you need to take care of data security, data management, and resistance to change. I like the article, and what triggered me to share it today is the report I saw yesterday. So plenty of innovation in the insurance vertical, and IoT could be one of the possible, I would say, factors in getting a new generation of insurance companies and disruption to the market. Another topic today is about cloud. Now, cloud computing, usually it's always an equivalent of someone doing digital transformation. But you would be shocked when you read this article that only 78% of executives who adopted the cloud are saying we don't see the value yet. And the reason, if I want to summarize the article, the reason is moving to cloud just for the sake of moving to cloud is not digital transformation. You become a cloud first, really, when you try to leverage the technology, which is, in my opinion, the main use case is agility. So you can innovate faster. So if you're not doing this and you are just doing shift and left and keeping the same legacy architecture, unfortunately, you would not be able to claim that you are cloud powered. Because as per the article, and it's based on a report done by PwC, the summary is, in order to become a really cloud adopter, what you need to do is you need to have a coherence between business, technology, and think to redesign the whole processes so really you can get a proper cloud adoption. So it needs to be an alignment between all parties. So CISOs with the CIO, data strategy, maybe a CDO, chief data officer, artificial intelligence would be indeed also into the picture, governance, right? So you need to think together to really claim that you are, yes, you adopted the cloud and you are seeing the benefits of the cloud. Last topic for today, and it's become like part of every day's episode, ChatGPT Plus. ChatGPT Plus is the upcoming paid version of OpenAI ChatGPT. And it will be costing $20 per month. And what you will get is you will get faster responses, you will get priority during peak times, and you will have early access to new features and improvement. This was expected. So I think it started in end of November, beginning of December. Now we are in February. So OpenAI, they used to have a monetization because remember, OpenAI does the API paid. So if you want to connect to the older GPT models, so there's an API and there is plenty of applications that are working today on the older models. But for the 3.5, so they did this testing, which all of us, we tried. So now they are bringing it to another level where you can have a plus version, a premium version. You ask me, would you use it? Honestly, yes, because I see the potential and I believe the way they will be releasing updates and enhancement will be fast. This is very obvious. Why I'm thinking this? Because I still believe that although it was an experiment, but the experiment part of us was us, because they have collected large amount of data, which is from us, the prompts that we put, and this will help them to go take this to the next level. So I'm excited actually to see ChatGPT Plus. Definitely, I will be using it. Thank you very much for today. It was a little bit longer episode, but I hope you will enjoy the content. As usual, I'm looking always for feedback from you. If you want me to discuss any topic, you want me to reach out to someone to host, I would be more than glad to do this. And until we meet in the next episode, take care and see you soon. Bye bye.